Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning into Mike's Final Experience. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. Before I get started with this latest video, thank you so much to those of you who have commented on my latest video that I just posted a few days ago featuring new artists and new music and albums that were new to me, many of which you people already had heard from and posted and gave me great insights and thoughts on these artists. Thank you so much for your comments. I appreciate it so very much. Incidentally, please leave comments in the comment section below on this video. I so love hearing from each of you and your experiences with the music or whatever it is that we happen to be talking about in each of my videos. I appreciate it so very much. Also, if you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. I can tell you what, we have got some great videos coming up with some incredible music, a lot of new releases, a lot of insights on some more new artists that are at least new to me. And of course, I'll be sharing with you the speakers that I have actually chosen to replace my Bowers & Wilkins 803 Series 2. Let's go ahead and get started. Today I want to talk with you about the two new releases from Analogue Productions as part of the Pablo series in which they are doing. They are the Timekeepers. Count Basie meets Oscar Peterson. We'll be doing a comparison to an original Pablo release on that album. And then the other new release is The Gifted Ones, Dizzy Gillespie and Count Basie. What a great pair of albums that were originally released on Pablo. And as we've talked about so many, not many times, in these videos that we've been talking about the Pablo series that Analogue Productions is doing, Pablo Records from the get-go recorded these albums so very, very well. They're produced, they're put together, they're mixed, they're mastered so very well. And so far, Analogue Productions has been doing an outstanding job in remastering and repressing these great, to me, historic albums. At least it's music that I absolutely love, and I know that you love them as well. If you're a jazz enthusiast, you can't help but be excited about this Pablo series that's being repressed, remastered, and released. It's a great series of albums. I've been so very impressed with them. A lot of them I've actually used in my quest for new audio equipment, in particular speakers, as of late. And I tell you what, these two releases are absolutely exceptional. Let's get into it and talk about these two new Analogue Productions as part of the Pablo series releases. Let's go ahead and start with The Gifted Ones, originally released by Pablo Records in 1977. As you can see from the album, it features Dizzy Gillespie, Count Basie, Ray Brown, and Mickey Roker. Dizzy Gillespie is on trumpet, Count Basie is on the piano, Ray Brown on bass, and Mickey Roker on percussion and drums. What an incredible album this is. Let's go ahead and take a look at it and see what Analogue Productions is doing. Now this album, as you can see, is, I just love the way Pablo Records originally done these albums. The black and white, many of them are just black and white albums with incredible pictures of the members of the band playing. What an incredible, this one happens to be a gatefold. As you can see, absolutely, gosh darn it, let me see if I can get this without a whole lot of glare to you. Incredible pictures of the band. I tell you what, this is incredible, from 1977. What a great bunch of musicians there are here. Along with the album, what you get on the inside, which I think is really, really a neat feature, is you get, of course, you're going to get a flyer. And this one in particular is talking about the Steely Dan Katy Lied album, which we were hoping to come out relatively soon, but has not. But as you can see, it gives you a good indication of some of the releases that are currently out or coming out. I think that's just a nice touch, really cool. But the cool part about these releases are a lot of the liner notes. These are by Tom Fine, History of Pablo, Norman Granz, Count Basie is also featured in this little included leaflet, if you will. Hope you can see that without a lot of glare. Pictures of the studio there, and then of course some of the Pablo Series other albums that they're doing. And I tell you what, this Pablo Series that Analogue Productions has been doing has been absolutely, in my opinion, incredibly spectacular. The sound quality, and don't get me wrong, the original pressings that we've talked about so many times were fantastic. If you're fortunate enough to have an original pressing of any of these albums in prime condition, then you're great. But some of the albums, and we get to the comparison, we'll talk about this a little bit more, but some of the albums, especially the ones that I have, some of them aren't perfect, because none of them that I have bought, well, I did buy a couple that were fortunate enough to get sealed, but most of them that I bought have been used, and so maybe have a snap, crackle, pop here and there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the vinyl. As we've come to know from all of the Analogue Productions Pablo Series that they are doing, they're pressed on 180 gram vinyl. Hope you can see that without any glare. Matthew Luthans at the Mastering Lab has done the remastering work, and of course they are pressed at QRP, and they seem to do a really good job. I've had very little, if any, in fact I don't think I've had any issues or problems, quality control type of problems, with any of the Pablo Series that Analogue Productions is doing. So I really do believe that they're doing a fantastic job, not only in pressing the albums, but of course they're if it's not a gatefold or a single cover vinyl record cover, they're just doing a fantastic job with those. Let's go ahead and get into the sound of the Gifted Ones. So as many of you know, I write a significant number of notes as I'm listening to these albums. I've had the chance to listen to these two albums probably at least 6 to 7 times. This one actually, the Gifted Ones actually went with me on a little audio store adventure this past week. Had a great time with that, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we get going. But once again, the quality of these recordings that were done, in this case back in 1977, were done spectacular. They were mastered well, they were mixed well. The overall recording process, and for really the most part, the pressing that was done back in those days was done excellent, just first rate, which really is a huge benefit for us as we get these new pressings that have been mastered by Matthew Luthans and pressed at QRP, and of course Analogue Productions is just doing an outstanding job on everything else, you know, the covers, the jackets, and so forth. Liner notes that they're producing and putting in with these are just fantastic. On side one of the Gifted Ones, Back to the Land, unbelievable performance and recording, amazing on all instruments. Basie's piano, Ray's bass, Mickey's drums, and Dizzy's trumpet sound absolutely fantastic, properly balanced, excellent resolution, dynamics from top to bottom are first rate. The second song, Constantine Opal. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correct. Piano at the beginning of this song is just fantastic. Dizzy's trumpet, when it comes in, is with incredible detail and just unbelievable dynamics on the top end. Mickey's bass drum has excellent impact and extension, as does the entire drum set that he's playing. All instruments are mixed and balanced properly. What an incredible song, what an incredible sonic adventure this is. Third song and last song on side one, You Got It. Detail on all instruments are excellent with great balance and extension from top to bottom. This really is an incredible, very well detailed and dynamic where it needs to be, and how it was presented and sounded in the studio. The recording is so true to life. Sound stage, depth of stage is just phenomenal on this album. Rolling over to side 2, first song, St. Jane's Infirmary. What a great rendition to that great song this is. Trumpet is presented and it is absolutely amazing in detail. The upper end extension is flawless. You've just got to hear this to believe it. Basie's piano sounds natural, along with Mickey's drums. Ray's bass is well defined with excellent detail and depth, especially on when Ray does his bass solo. This is a great, wonderful recording of a great melody. Second song on side 2, Follow the Leader. Super, super fun and energetic song with excellent detail on all instruments, especially Dizzy's trumpet. Bass lines at times are striking in bottom end depth. I mean, you can actually feel them, and it's not overblown, it's not bloated. It sounds excellent with proper detail, excellent decay, and it's gone when it needs to be gone. It just sounds incredible. This track, I had the opportunity to Follow the Leader. I actually had an opportunity to listen to this song on a pair of Sabrina X speakers. Now, it wasn't the vinyl record that I was listening to. It was a digital copy, but oh my heavens, the impact was absolutely incredible, especially on Dizzy's trumpet. Vet this song out and listen to it. This is a great, great song. Sonically, it's amazing, but musicality-wise, it's unbelievable. Third song on side 3, which is the last song, is called Ow, O-W. I hope I'm pronouncing that right as well. Ow, an incredible song. Perfect balance between the recording with all of the instruments. They're all presented with incredible detail. It's just very, very accurate. The sound is very natural. As if you're in the studio, you can actually hear the strings on Ray's bass as he is plucking them. It's really a phenomenal recording, and it's presented here through the Analogue Productions and Matthew Luthen's remastering. It's just presented exceptional. This is just, in my opinion, another great Pablo release from Analogue Productions. From what I believe, these are important albums, and they're not just great sonically sounding albums, which they are. Sonically, they're incredible, but the music on it is just fun to listen to. I enjoy these albums so very much. This type of jazz is just addicting, and it's just fun to listen to. If you're a jazz lover, in particular a jazz lover of a good trumpet, fine piano, excellent bass playing, and of course with the drums, you got to give this album a listen. Check it out, vet it out. I'm here to tell you what, the musicality on this album is fantastic. Sonically, it's another gem from Pablo Records and Analogue Productions. Absolutely stunning in presentation. The vinyl is super quiet, so you're getting that with a dead solid black background. The instruments just jump out. They sound phenomenal. Give this album a try. Give it a listen. Vet it out. Let me know what you think about it. I think it's absolutely wonderful. If you're into jazz music, I think it's a must-have. It's that good of an album. Okay, let's take a look at the Timekeepers. Count Basie meets Oscar Peterson, two of the greatest jazz pianists in history, at least in my opinion, two fantastic jazz pianists. You've got to listen to this album if you're a jazz fan and if you like jazz piano, because this album is fantastic. You got to give it a listen. Jump onto Spotify, wherever, Apple Music, wherever it is that you listen to your music, Tidal, any place that you can find this album. Give it a listen, vet it out. If you love jazz piano, you're going to love this album as I do. It's a fantastic, fantastic album. Of course, the other musicians that are on the album, as well as Count Basie and Oscar Peterson, are Louis Bellison on drums, John Hurd on the double bass. So Really, really great jazz music. Two of the best jazz pianists. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Analogue Productions version of the album. This is not a gatefold cover. As you can see, it's just a single album cover, but it's done excellent, absolutely wonderful. These black and white covers are just simply, I think, absolutely wonderful. The back side of it, excellent album. Very similar, except with a little bit better quality as far as the printing, at least in my opinion, compared to the original. The album, I won't go ahead and show you the album because it's no different than the one that we just took a look at. But of course, Matthew Luthans at the Mastering Lab did the remastering. It's 180 gram, pressed at QRP. Quality control is absolutely fantastic. As we've talked about, we've known to come from Analogue Productions. Let's jump in and talk about the music and the sound. Yet another, at least in my opinion, release that is absolutely stunning musicality-wise. Absolutely incredible music, in particular if you're a jazz pianist enthusiast, as am I. Side 1 of the Timekeepers, first song, I'm Confessing That I Love You. Basie and Peterson's piano playing is excellent, both in detail and balance, including dynamic resolution. Bass playing by John Hurd is well balanced with drums and pianos. Incredible, wonderful sounding song. Song 2 on side 1, Soft Winds. Nice laid back song with superb piano resolution. The dynamics, of the piano playing is just amazing to me. And when I say that, what I'm meaning is, as they're playing, the piano sounds extraordinarily natural sounding. But when one of them really strikes a key, it's not only in volume that you hear it, but you hear it in incredible definition and dynamics. You can actually feel the hit of the piano key as they do it. When they really strike those keys, you've really got to hear that to believe it. It's incredible. Song 3 on side 1, Rent Party. This is about a little over a 9-minute song. And it really just starts out with the two pianists. And I'm here to tell you what, it's an incredibly awesome journey. This song it's incredible. It was actually written by Count Basie and Oscar Peterson. As indicated, piano playing from the two is incredible. It's impeccable. One is in each speaker playing. Detail is absolutely first rate on this as far as the piano, with that dynamic in particular when they really strike a key. It's just incredible. When the bass and drums come in, it's well mixed and properly balanced with the piano playing. Excellent song, both in detail and depth. As far as drums and bass, sound phenomenal. Really adding to the sheer dynamics, both upper and bottom end. On this song. Really a great musical song, incredible sounding, detail, and just absolute resolution is spectacular on this song. Moving over to side 2, Back Home Again in Indiana. This is a fast-paced song with excellent sound on all the instruments, including the drums that are well-defined and extended, as is the pianos. Very well balanced, as nothing is lost. Bass, drums, and pianos are very well distinguished and easily to identify. And when I say that, it is a fast-paced song. A whole lot is going on and a whole lot can be heard, but yet you can hear each and every instrument very easily and very well defined. It's really, to me, this is the hallmark of a great recording, when you can hear each and every instrument without having to strain. Well, can you hear the bass? Can you hear, it's just an incredible, you've got to listen to this. It's a great album, both musicality-wise and sonic-wise. Second song, Hey Raymond, dynamic piano playing with incredible detail, as it is on every bit of this album. Bass playing is very good with good bottom end extension. Third song on side 2, After You've Gone, another excellent song with great piano playing that is presented with loads of detail and extremely good dynamics. Drums and bass also sound great on this track. There's also, Basie actually plays the organ on this track as well, and you can really pick that out. It sounds wonderful. Once again, that balance and that detail of all the instruments doesn't get lost. It sounds great together. Really well balanced album. Last song on side 2, song 4, that's the one. This is another song that was written by Count Basie and Oscar Peterson together, and I tell you what, it's incredible. Pianos, as usual, between the two sound incredible and dynamic as ever, along with the bass and the drums. This is just another one of those dynamic piano playing pieces when you can really hear and feel as they hit a key on the piano. It's just really hard to describe unless you're actually listening to it, but you can actually feel them hit that hard. Like I say, it's not only in volume that you hear it, it's just in fine detail and extension on the top end as well as the bottom end. Micro dynamics are just incredible throughout this entire album, in particular on the piano playing between these two. Just an incredible song and really an incredible album. When I compared this album, the Analogue Productions version, to the original 1983 release by Pablo, you know, and my Pablo release here is probably, I would probably rate it a good, I don't know, I would probably rate it a good plus to very good. It does have a little bit of noise from time to time, not entirely throughout, but it does have a little bit of noise. And so the sound floor on the Analogue production is obviously, because it's so black, it's so deep, it's so dark, you're not hearing anything but the instruments and the musicians. It's really quite intoxicating to hear it. That in itself is a huge difference. Now, if you happen to have a super like new or an excellent near mint condition version of this album, it would probably be a little bit different, but I still give the nod, just in sheer dynamics from the pianos alone, to the Analogue Productions version. I just think there is a level of resolution that's just a little bit greater than what is found on the original pressing through my system and through my ears. I think Matthew Luthans did a really nice job at the mastering lab remastering this album. So in comparison, I do believe the Analogue Productions is better, at least in my opinion. And I do have to admit, and I do think that the quality of the vinyl, the black background that you're listening to the instruments pop from, has a huge difference in the presentation. But like I say, I do believe dynamically the Analogue Productions version is a better sounding version of the album. Thank you so much for watching today. In conclusion, these two albums, I cannot highly recommend them enough. They are absolutely wonderful. Matthew Luthans at the Mastering Lab, along with Analogue Productions, has done a phenomenal job in repressing, remastering these already great, incredible Pablo releases. Huge fan of this Pablo series. If you're a jazz fan, if you really enjoy jazz music, vet these two albums out, give them a listen. I highly recommend them. They're incredible albums, not only for sound quality, which they are incredible. Actually, they both could really be demonstration albums if you're into your audio system. They're incredibly well recorded. They have incredible dynamics, both on the top and on the bottom. But the most important thing, or at least it is to me, is the music on these albums are phenomenal. They're just fantastic. Please leave comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you're thinking. Are you looking at these two albums? Have you purchased them? What do you think of the albums? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for taking the time to post comments. I greatly appreciate that. If you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. All I can tell you is we have some great videos coming up. We're going to be taking a look at the latest mobile fidelity release of Santana Abraxas on Super Vinyl. We'll be comparing that to a one-step version, as well as three other digital versions of that album. We'll also be taking a look at Diana Krall, the latest 3 Acoustic Sound Series albums that have been released of hers. Excited to go over those with you. And then, of course, right away, once I just gather a little bit more information on when I can expect my new speakers, I'll be conveying that information to you. I have made a decision. I want to share that with you. I want to get your thoughts back. Thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please have a great day.